everybody. Welcome to Zoe's Treasures. My name's Tracy, and as always, I'm here with my husband, Noel. And if y'all want to know the truth, I already fired him this morning. Show hasn't even started, and I was ready to fire him. But we're still going to have a great show. No, he's doing good. Good morning, Kim. Good morning, Southern Charm. Today is our chat and sell, and I have broken all of the rules that I talk about, mainly because it has been crazy with technical glitches on Whatnot for us. So I have no giveaways posted. We'll throw some of those in there. I have very little in my bin because I didn't transfer the things over like I normally do. But I did remember show notes, and rewards codes are in the show notes. So that's where we're at this morning, and we're just going to roll with it. Good morning, Rookster. How is everybody doing? How is your week going so far? Did anybody experience, tell you what, I'm going to add some giveaways. Will you guys tell me if anybody experienced Whatnot glitches yesterday? And if you were in our CEO challenge last night, you saw our glitch. Let me get some giveaways thrown in here. I like to do them for these shows. Let's see here. And I do have something kind of new and cool to show you guys today. And we're kind of winging it here, which is so not like me and makes me feel like I'm really all over the place when I do that, but it is what it is. And there we go. Now we have some giveaways in there. Let's start a CEO affirmation card. This is what our giveaway is, CEO affirmation card. All right. So on our chat and sell shows, we have a few things in the auction tab. If I see pre-bids, I go ahead and run them. If not, we just chat about anything and everything. I have some notes to talk about, but would love to hear what your thoughts are. What are you seeing out and Whatnot? What questions do you have? This is somewhat of a seller support. If I can't answer it, somebody else in the chat will be able to answer it for you. What is the burning questions on your mind? We did the CEO challenge last night, and it went really well. It was week 3, so we have 1 week left. So in 2 more, May 5th, 2 weeks from yesterday, will be our final CEO challenge night. And this week's challenge for week 4, it's really 2 weeks, but what they're working on is just solidifying all of the structures they put in place, all of the systems, all of the metrics, really focusing in on measuring them and just working on everything that they've been working on. Then they're going to come on May 5th. They each get 30 minutes, and it'll be our final showcase, CEO showcase for season 1. So I am very anxious to hear their feedback for me, and then also to hear their assessment of where their business is. So if you guys haven't been watching, definitely check that out. Questions on giveaways. What's the shipping setup for ephemera? I give away handwritten recipe cards by shipping. Oh yeah, so you want to make sure that in your shipping settings from your Seller Hub or your main settings, you have PWE turned on, plain white envelope. Then when you go into, good morning, a Monster Mama, and then when you go into setting up your show, when you set up your show, you have that little shipping section. And then you want to make sure that it's click ground for 0 to 15 ounces. Anything above that doesn't matter, but 0 to 15 ounces, and that you have that PWE showing. Then when you put your giveaway in, you need to list it under either the sticker or the card category. That's one of the most important steps, is listing it under the sticker or the card category, and make sure the weight is 0 to 1 ounce. That should help you. That should take care of your problem. It should be the 70 something cents. Can we show our camera setup? We possibly can. Can we mirror to my phone and I can show it from my phone? Sure. We'll show our camera setup. Let me give us a second. We got to mirror over to our phone. So if you are new to us, while I do this, I will, let's see, what do I need to do? Open the show on my phone? All right. My husband's going to get it set up. We don't run on a phone. We run on cameras and computers, which is what our problem was last night. You're very welcome, Hannah. Last night on the CEO challenge, we could not get anything to work. Like the screen would come in and then go out and then come in and go out. The sound was hit or miss. And the problem was Whatnot did a ton of updates, and all of like the configurations that my husband has behind the scenes in his cameras weren't making the proper connections. You could tell I'm super technical. That's about as technical as I get right there. And So nothing was working for us. And so while the rage train was going on, he was back here frantically trying to reset everything on his computer. And he did get it up and working. As you can tell today, we're here. But if you are new, you do not have to have the setup we have. A phone, a decent light of some sort, and a label printer, a scale. I mean, you don't need a whole lot to be successful and whatnot. And I like to preference this because when we show this, people are like, oh my God, I don't have that. That's a lot of money. You don't need it. My husband has collected all of his equipment over many, many years. He was in this business. So this is not typical. All right, let's go ahead and show it. Let's mirror. Yep, we're ready. Hi, everybody. This is what it looks like from my husband's point of view. So he's coming back from his little control center. And over here, you can see we have the TV there. That's what I look at. And then, here, I'll grab it for you. I got it. Okay. And then this is my point of view. So this is what I see. I have a camera in front of me and a big TV. We have lights all around me. We have a camera up here. So that's, then we have another camera on the side. Let's see, there it is right there. We have my iPad, which is when I turn it on, I can see like first purchases and stuff. So let's see, I can turn that on. That's what I look at. Then if we go up and over, so it has it kind of all rigged up here. So it's just all attached to this table I sit at. Who's going to win that giveaway? Kim Landry, you got that giveaway. Congratulations. All right. And then over on the other side, we just have a sheet or a piece of cloth hanging up over here as a backdrop. So when we show the side camera, you're going to see that backdrop. And then we'll show you his stuff. And you can see I have my little ducks in the chat to remind me. This is his view. So this is what my husband sees. That's all of his controls, switchers, controls sound, runs a computer through there. And then he has all of his various screens that he watches along with all of the buttons that run all of the graphics. So he programs all of that in and then he runs the graphics. Oh, you're going too fast. Go slow. At a touch of a button. And that's some type of switcher board. I don't know what it is. He could tell you. His microphone. And then he has multiple cameras and stuff going on there. There's a camera in front of him so you can see him when he does go in the bubble. And that's that. And then stand up, I was going to say, behind me over here, we have another camera over here in our corner. That is our black box. So we have another camera that's set up into a makeshift black box. When we sell glowy stuff, we can put it in the black box. And that's our setup. It's very small. I know. Thank you so much. So the sound, we do recommend, you could, if I'm not bearing it with my hair. So I do wear a microphone. We also have another microphone when I do just purely chat shows. If I'm not selling, we have another microphone you'll see like right here on the screen. You can get these type of microphones and use them with your phone setup. So you don't have to have a camera and fancy setup to have a microphone, and they make a world of difference. Thank you so much. We like Area 57. The setup works for us. Again, it's far more high tech than what you need to be successful on whatnot. However, a microphone, not a must-have when you get started by any means. Your phones have built-in microphones. But as you grow, as you progress, you may want to consider a microphone. Can you put it in the chat, the brand that we use? This is the one he recommends. You get two little microphones and he plugs it in somehow over there. There's one also, we have the same thing when we travel and it just plugs into your phone. And there it is. He put the name in there. That's the name of the microphone. It helps because picture this, you guys. Most of us, when we're selling, right? Let me give you a demonstration. We're doing good. Hello, Lori. Okay. So most of us are like this when we're selling, right? And you have your telephone right in front of you. That's your camera. Use your phone. Good morning, Trish. So your microphone is in front of you. When you go like this, or you turn to get an item over here, if you're not facing your telephone, your voice gets very muffled. It's hard for the audience to hear you. So using a microphone keeps your voice consistent, Even when I turn around like this, I'm not muffled. You can hear me. So that's the benefit of using a microphone. One, it's a little bit more clear. And then two, you can turn around, you can move around. If you're the type who do shows where you're doing like unboxings and you're moving around a lot, highly suggest a microphone for you. But it is not something that's like, oh, I've got to have this right away to do whatnot. No, not at all. Let's start another giveaway. So that's our setup. And again, we're always changing it, trying to improve it. You got to think about one of the things that, and there's difference of opinions. I'm giving you my opinion. What we're creating here, you're very welcome. What we're creating here is an environment and experience for people. So everything they see in this box, thank you very much. Everything they see in this box lends to that experience. Go ahead.
And as you can see, if you didn't notice, I can add a camera on the fly directly using my phone.
Yeah, so his phone was the other camera, so he can just hook up and mirror it and then walk around with it. So that experience that you're creating is all these little bits and pieces. And I think I've been kind of talking about this for the last few weeks. I'm really trying to figure out how to make this more comprehensive. Is how do you open your show? What's your lighting like? What's your background like? Like all these pieces. How is your confidence? Good morning, the Polish Picker. How is your confidence? How do you present yourself? How do you show your items? How do you price your items? Like all of these are all these tiny little puzzle pieces that come together to create this really unique experience that only you can give to your buyers. And that's what you bring to Whatnot. So when you think about it in that way of all these puzzle pieces, your background, your backdrop is one of those puzzle pieces, and it's important. It changes the experience for the buyer. So think about the backgrounds where you just see a bunch of stuff piled up, a bunch of boxes, versus a background with shelves, or maybe some people have like curtains that are just really pretty curtains behind them. Each one of those is a different feel when you go into the room, much like when you're shopping at the mall and you go into different retail stores. The lighting, the paint, everything, the design, the decor of the store is a different feel. Abercrombie and Fitch is completely different from, Sears or the Gap, right? Like they're all different feels. That's what we create with our backgrounds and all these other little pieces. So the people who, I'm not going to say they're wrong. There's difference of opinion. Some people think, oh, my background doesn't matter. I can be, wherever. It doesn't hurt my show, but it does. It influences the feelings that the buyers, the people in your room, your supporters have, and the experience that they have through your show. So I say all that just to urge you, if you're a seller or a new seller or thinking about selling, to put some thought into the background. And again, nothing I say or tell you or recommend. Thank you very much, Polish Picker. Nothing I say is like, oh, you have to do this. There is a million ways to do Whatnot. What model microphone? What model microphone is this?
So Holy Land has different models. The one that she's wearing right now, it's kind of like a clip-on. There's another one that has a magnet on the back. You cannot go wrong with either one of those. They sell a combo that you can connect directly to the phone using a little dongle,
it's like
a little adapter.
Yeah.
And so you plug it into the phone, and the minute you plug it into the phone, it starts working. So you cannot go wrong with any of those.
Good morning, Taco Cat Lady. Yeah, so all these little pieces kind of add in. Now, I'm not saying you have to do it my way. There is a million ways to do Whatnot. But think about it and think about how you're creating that unique experience through all those little puzzle pieces. Yes, there are many models on their website. I don't know how to guide you. If you want to ask about specific ones, you can always DM my husband. He's happy to communicate with you and help you narrow down what may be a good choice. Some people will be like, they'll say,
we have almost every single one of them, and I bought them directly on Amazon. If you're curious.
The ones that always confuse me is I will watch some jewelry sellers, and I'm not calling anybody out by name. And this isn't necessarily like bad or that they're bad sellers. They could be wonderful sellers. Actually, the ones I watch sell some very high-end jewelry. I am always surprised at, you can see some very high-end jewelry sellers. When I say high-end, I'm talking they're selling individual pieces of jewelry for hundreds of dollars a piece, right? So they're not volume. They're not selling, thousands of pieces. They're selling a few pieces for a lot of money. A monster mama, congratulations. But you go into it and you just see this dump of jewelry. Like there's just all this jewelry, and they're selling jewelry that costs $300 or $400. To me, in my opinion, that's kind of comparing going to, a jewelry store, and you go to a very high-end jeweler, and they're showing you one piece at a time, but everything is very lush, and it's that luxurious experience, versus going to the discount jewelry and Walmart and flipping through the little rotating thing. So it gives a vibe, like whatever it is that's being shown. And I've talked a lot about that. All right, what else? What else can we talk about? What is on your mind? Nothing? Nothing's on your mind? Let's start another giveaway. I do see some pre-bids. Let's go ahead and do the pre-bids and give you a chance to see if you have any questions. And if not, I've got a few things we could talk about, and I do have something to show you this morning, something new that I've been working on. All right, so let's run these pre-bids really quick. And I do have, what is my take on Givey Goblins? Absolutely. We're going to run these pre-bids. We'll talk about Givey Goblins. Let's do these cards first. So one of our CEO participants, Mel and Stella Cards, sells playing cards. Here's how to do a giveaway for set. Can I show you? Yeah, we probably can show you. We can go into a show setup and show you. So we're going to talk about Givey Goblins, and we'll walk through how to set up 78 cents. We're going to run these three pre-bids first, and then we'll get right to those questions. So one of the CEO participants shows playing cards. Now she doesn't do, I haven't seen her do decks. She does individuals, but I did find these vintage decks. These are the Cape Shore line. I'm not sure if they've ever been used. They have been open. They're still in plastic, so I don't think they've been used. We're going to go ahead and run them. And I like to do 10 seconds. Shipping is $4.50 max, so you'll never pay more than $4.50. No, don't be sorry at all. Please ask away any questions. Which is better for shipping, laptop or iPad? Either one works. Wheels and More, congratulations. You just got those. Thank you very much. Let's do this little sugar scuttle and saucer.
Thank you.
Oh, of course, it's the one that I have to get up for, right? I need to move these closer if I want to sit down. All right, here we go. Look at how cute this is. The only thing it does not have is the actual little scoop. But how adorable is this little porcelain sugar scuttle? And it comes with a little matching saucer. I think it's adorable. You can also turn this into some type of an ornament if you wanted, because it has that little hole on the top. And we're going to go ahead and run that. That is going now. So Mathis, new seller here. For my first show, should I focus on one type of item or a mix of items? Great question. What is your niche? What are you selling? Tell me what you're selling first. What is your kind of category? Oh, Monster Mama, that is going to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And our last one for right now, and then we can always do more later, is this one here. So this is a vintage piece. And what they used to do on this is put their calling cards in here. So vintage calling cards would sit in there, and a calling card is kind of like a business card. So that is really good for rings, isn't it? Well, that's a great idea. So look at how beautiful this is. So think of this as a vintage business card holder, but you can turn it into just about anything now. And that is up and running right now. No chips or cracks that I have seen on this. It's so pretty. I love the blue. Really soft looking blue on there. Thank you for your bids. And 2 peas in a pod vintage, that's going to you. Congratulations. All right, let's talk. So, did we hear what, Mathis, tell me what, if you, I'm not seeing it yet, tell me what category you're in, because I think that kind of makes a difference. So, let me know what category, then I'll try to answer your question. In the meantime, we had 2 other questions I'll answer, and then I'll wait for Mathis to tell me the category there. Can we show you how to do giveaways for 78 cents? Absolutely. Is there any way that you can show that on the screen? Can you share screen with the current setup? Let's give him a second to get that. We want to go to shows. We're just going to open up one of my shows. We're going to go to like edit show. So pick a future show and do edit show. Okay, storage units, clothes, plush. All right, Mathis, since you have so many different things, I would do it under storage units, and then you can mix different things. Now, because you have a mix in storage units, estate sales, those 2 categories, people expect to see anything and everything. Like it's a whole grab bag. You don't know what you're going to get, and that's part of the appeal of those categories. Whereas if you were in vintage, then it's probably you could get a little more niche. You could still do a mix, but it's easier to be more niche in vintage or clothing or jewelry. But in your case, I would suggest it's okay to do everything if you're in estate or storage. If you can do enough of one thing, like if you have enough plush, go in the plush category and do a plush show then. Taco Cat Lady, you got that giveaway. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right. So in order to set up for 78 cent shipping, this isn't a show. So this is like if you were setting up your show. We just went into one of our current shows and we did edit show. So if you scroll down there to your shipping settings right there and it says see more options. So click on that see more options and then domestic. Let's click on domestic and look at our shipping settings. So we have USPS first class mail toggled on. You want to make sure that that is toggled on. Okay. So that's one. Then we're going to scroll down a little bit more. Okay, you're on a phone. Go back. We're going to go back out of domestic shipments. And we're going to go to now our shipping cost, which is your next choice. So here, no, not shipping cost. Sorry. Okay, scroll. Oh, okay, that's it. That's for your show settings. I'm getting confused. Sorry. So for your show settings, shipping domestic shipments, you want the USPS on. Now close this and let's go to an inventory item. So then when you're setting up your giveaway, I don't know how to set up a giveaway through inventory. I'm just going to show you what setting you need it to be. But you have your show open, you click add giveaway. I always do temporary. And then when you're doing that, there is a weight and there is a category. And we can show you those 2 things on a regular inventory item. So your category right there, you always want that to be stickers is the easiest one. That is under handmade. So if you just scroll down a little bit, it should be under handmade. There you go. You can click stickers. All right. And then you scroll down to your weight. Shipping profile right there. We want that to be 0 to 1 ounce. So if you have those 3 things attached with your giveaway, your shipping setting in your show, and then the weight and the stickers in your giveaway, it should come out as your 78 cents or whatever it is. Hopefully that helped you. All right, we had another question I said we were going to get to. Let's see. We talked about...
Good morning, I love discounts.
What is better for shipping, laptop or iPad? So I'm assuming, hello, I love discounts. I'm assuming you're asking like when you're doing your shipping. I would say a laptop because, well, we use a tablet, but it works like a laptop. I think it's better for me. Our shipping station, I'll tell you what we have. I've never done shipping on a phone. If anybody has done shipping on a phone, please feel free to answer if that works good or not for you. I feel a computer works best for me. You like the Southern Charm likes a laptop better. I like a bigger screen. In my shipping station, I have a tablet that's mounted to the wall right above my shipping table. Yeah, I love the bigger screen too. And so that tablet never moves. It stays right there in my shipping, so I can walk in to do my shipping. I click it on, and whatnot pops up for me right then and there, and it's only for shipping. That's what works for me. And I find it really useful not to be like, oh, I left my computer upstairs. I got to go get my computer and, tablet, same as an iPad. I would say so. Would you consider our tablet the same as an iPad? No? He says no.
No, what she refers as a tablet is because it's a Surface. It's a Microsoft Surface. And I just took the keyboard out and I gave her a Bluetooth keyboard with a Bluetooth mouse. So she can actually type in and select everything. Good morning, Scuba.
Hello, Scuba. Thank you so much for your purchase from the bin. Yes, who just said Cedar Hollow Farm? I can work faster with the larger screen and mouse. Exactly, that's how I feel. I do have a keyboard and a mouse hooked up so I can easily change weights, click on things that I need to click on. Because I have the tablet right there, that is one of those things. Let's talk systems here, and shipping is a system, right? Making any system you have, and let's just focus on your shipping system, as easy as possible is going to make it so much more efficient for you and more reduces your error rate. So in my shipping setup, it's not fancy. It's in an unfinished part of my basement. We can walk back there and show you. It's a mess. I've shown it before. But basically, I have a table and I have everything I need pretty much within arm's reach. So I'm not going to that side of the room or going to that closet and digging out boxes. Everything is within arm's reach. My computer, my tablet is right there in front of me where I can click on it, see what's happening. Tape, everything you need is right there. Rolls of saran wrap on the wall. It makes it easier and faster when you're shipping. Does everybody else here have a shipping station, or is it, Givey Goblins? Thank you, Wheels and More. I knew there was another question. If you guys want to talk more about shipping stations, just let me know. We can talk more. We can go take a tour of mine if you want. It's a mess though. My opinion on Givey Goblins, who cares? They're in my show. I don't think, I'll answer the question about weighing stuff in 1 second. I don't have a problem with Givey Goblins. It depends. What is your purpose for doing giveaways? That's where it lies with me. Why do you do the giveaway? I do giveaways only in my chat shows, unless it's a raid train requirement that I'm on. I do them only in my chat shows. And in my giveaways, it's marketing. So I don't advertise it because Whatnot doesn't allow me. But in everything that goes out, I put one of my rewards cards, which is technically a coupon card, in everything. So I use giveaways as advertising. If you're a Givey Goblin and you want a vintage postcard, a CEO affirmation card, and a coupon, more power to you. Be in my show. If Givey Goblins bother you, don't do giveaways. Take that money and use it in a way that benefits the people in your room that are buying. Do reduce shipping. Do something else. Make lower prices. Every now and then, throw in dollar starts if you're not a dollar start person. So instead of using that money towards giveaways, if Givey Goblins are something that bother you, use that money in a way that benefits everybody else in your room in a different manner. They're always going to be there. There's nothing I'm going to do about it. So it is what it is. Let's see. What else am I missing? What other questions? I know that's kind of an answer, no answer. They just don't bother me. Shipping department. You have a whole department. Now that's sweet. I have just recently hired my daughter. She is going to start shipping this week. Not everything. We're starting training this week. Let's put this more in perspective. Do I weigh your items as you price it and list it? Yes and no. I always recommend everybody weigh their items as they price and list. Because I do $4.50 shipping, I list all my items at 8 to 11 ounces. Therefore, I do not need to weigh them on the front end because it goes 8 to 11 ounces. However, on the back end, when I'm packing them, I wrap them all in bubble wrap, get my box together, and that box goes on a scale, and then I accurately make the weight in the computer for the shipping box. So because of the way I do shipping, I don't weigh ahead of time. I don't recommend that if you're not using the same shipping that I am. That works for what I'm doing. If you are buyer pays all, or maybe like a max of 921, you probably should be weighing every single item and putting it in with your appropriately. The Bird Theory, you can still do desktop version on your phone or tablet. Oh, that's interesting. The desktop access makes it easier. Biggest screen allows you to move. Yes. Okay. That makes sense. I didn't know you can access it on your phone. I just don't, the phone's too small for me. I don't use the phone mainly because I have fat fingers and I don't see everything very well on it. Yeah, shipping station is a must. On our selling account, they always win our big giveaways. So I guess I would just ask, instead of a big giveaway, like only one person wins your giveaway. This is a really good point that Green 13 makes, and I never thought about it like this until I heard him talk about it. I have thought about the fact that you want, the last thing you want people to experience with you is a good feeling, is a warm and fuzzy, right? They enjoy, even if they're not a buyer, if they just come to your show, you want them leaving your show with that warm and fuzzy of, wow, that was pretty fun. I'd like to go check this person out again, right? Or if they buy from you, you want them to be happy. You don't want them leaving with buyer's remorse or regret or anything wrong. Giveaways, only one person wins them, like particularly buyers giveaways. Here, all these people are getting in to try to buy it, and then they don't win it. It's like buying a lottery ticket. Do I really expect to win the $8 million? Probably not. But am I a little disappointed when I wake up in the morning and check my numbers and I'm like, oh man, guess I'm not retiring today. And that's, even if it's a minor little glitch, it's still a bad feeling. So just kind of think about that when you're doing giveaways. Does there need to be a big giveaway? When you're saying big, I'm thinking like, you know, good amount, fair value, 50, 60, if not more dollars. Could you not be benefiting more people, thus increasing sales? Some of my giveaways that are used really don't care. Hold on. Some of my giveaways that are used are really not care for, so I feel bad they give them away. Yeah, and that's just on our end as a buyer side. Heck, if we're not interested in the giveaway, don't enter. There's a lot of giveaways I don't enter because it's like, thank you very much. I think that's sweet that you're doing it. I just don't care to get it. So I'm not going to cost you the shipping and then me have to dispose of something I don't want to begin with. So the Polish Picker says, I offered reduced 8 to 11 ounce yesterday. And the Polish Picker, congratulations. That is amazing. You're the fourth person within like the last week and a half that I have heard from, either in a show or a personal message, that has said that they're implementing different strategies and it's working in their business. And I love to hear that. Good morning, Aaron. I did not see you come in. So the reduced shipping works. Absolutely. Do you recommend doing 8 to 11 ounces when offering 921? Okay, so the 8 to 11 ounces, let me just explain why I do it, and then you can decide if that's a good measure for you or not. I know there's a lot of talk about this 8 to 11 ounces. This is why I do it. When I put 8 to 11 ounces, like today, everything that's listed is 8 to 11 ounces, unless it's really does weigh a lot less, I'll put it less. That means for you as a buyer, that first item you click on is going to be for something and it's going to hit that $4.50. My shipping is $4.50. So the first item you buy is going to pay all of your shipping, and then you see that free shipping pop up for items 2 and beyond. That encourages you as a buyer to buy more. That free shipping is an incentive for people. They see it, and it's like an addictive thing, like, oh, cool, now I can buy more and buy more because I'm not paying shipping. So 8 to 11 ounces and $4.50 works for me because it's one and free, basically. It also controls my cost on the front end, because the way Whatnot charges you is when somebody wins the auction, you are charged immediately. If you or them are charged immediately for the shipping. So when I have $4.50 shipping, if somebody buys something at 2 pounds, that's a $9.21 shipping, right? 2 pounds is $9.21. So the buyer gets charged $4.50 immediately, and then I get charged the $5, whatever the difference is, on my side immediately. This caps the amount that I'm charged on the front end. I also do flat rate, so I'm never charged more than a $9.21 during a show. After the show, then when I'm doing my shipping adjustments, I'm going through, I'm weighing my boxes, I'm changing the weights, changing dimensions, I then pay any difference over and above that. I hope that makes sense. Southern Charm says she does reduce shipping too. And I've seen Southern Charm do from $7 to the $9.21, even some less, but on average, somewhere in that ballpark, $7 to $9.21, and uses the 8 to 11 ounce. It doesn't mean that you don't have to change it. It's just a way to help reduce the amount of shipping. I hope that answered your question. Let's see. My husband's telling me I missed a question. What am I missing, my love? Tell me which one I'm missing. It works on me. I buy out, you buy more when, yeah. I mean, it's just basic behavior, right? And who doesn't, if you see free shipping, it's not a guarantee that people are going to buy. But when you see free shipping, it's kind of like, okay, that's cool. That's more money. Instead of paying money over here for shipping, I can put in towards my item, which means as a seller, higher bids. It all interrelates. We committed to reduce shipping. Did you, Scuba Stevio? Congratulations. Y'all, it works. I know you're going to hear a lot of people say, oh, if they want it, they'll buy it at full price shipping. Do buyer pays all. People will pay for what they want. Yes, to some extent they will. Collectors, people who are collectors, will pay outrageous amounts of money for shipping. What is the main customer base here? Can anybody tell me who is your main customer base on Whatnot? Kimmy D says, yeah, they get deals. I love discounts. Resellers. Resellers are probably the biggest customer base on Whatnot. What do resellers, what is their concern? So think about that. Well, Reclaim Vintage. I just did a whole explanation. I think you should, if it works for you, go check YouTube. And I'm not trying to just blow you off here, seriously. But I don't want to bore everybody else that's just listening to the answer. Everything I do, all my shows are on YouTube, but I did just do like a whole 10-minute answer. Go check that out. Taco Cat Lady, $4.50 only if you can afford it. Go back and look at your numbers. No, it's okay. I totally understand. I just don't want to, I want to make sure everybody's taken care of. Okay, what do resellers want? Bottom line is the most important for resellers. Thank you, T Bubble Fizz. Exactly. So if you're on Whatnot, and if your category, if you know your customer base is mainly resellers, do resellers want to pay, buyer pays all shipping, or do they want reduced shipping? Because now you're talking about what you're selling becomes their inventory, thus their cost of goods. Know your customer base. That's what it comes down to when you're making these shipping decisions, when you're figuring out what you're going to charge. One, look at your data. What does your data say? What can you afford to do? If you go down to $4.50 shipping, how much are you going to pay? I'll be completely transparent with my numbers. At my $4.50 shipping, overall across all of my shows, I'm paying 15 to 19% in shipping cost. It hovers more towards the 15% on average. So some days it's lower, some days it's higher. I pay that's $15 out of every $100 I earn, I pay to shipping doing $4.50. Can you afford to do that? So think about what is the financial impact to you, and then who's your buyers? Is it going to matter? If you have all collectors, you have high-end items and you're selling to collectors, you're doing high-end jewelry, people are buying it for personal wear, maybe that reduced shipping isn't as important. But if your customer base is mainly resellers, that reduced shipping becomes highly important. Think also about what is your average order value? What are you've got to, this stuff doesn't exist independently of each other. Everything connects in one way, shape, or form. When you're looking at your average order value and you want to increase it, if you're making $10 per item on average and you want that to go to 11 or 12, what are some of the ways you can do that? One of them is offering reduced shipping. Because if people see, okay, people will think, oh, I've got $50 budget. I could bid $50 or I could bid $40 and pay my $9.21 in shipping. So nothing exists independently. So you've got to think big picture. And as a buyer, how would you feel? And how do you look at it? Does Whatnot send you a 1099 at the end of the year for what you made, or how does that work? Strickland, absolutely, yes. So if you meet the IRS thresholds where Whatnot has to send you a 1099, they do. This year they made it available through Stripe. This is the first year they did it this way. They've done it different. The year before it was a little bit different. The threshold for 2025 was $20,000 in sales and 200 transactions. That is currently the same threshold for 2026. However, that can change throughout the year, dependent on any bills that may be passed. But right now, it's 20,200 transactions. The Bird Theory says, I did max 14. First started learning reduced shipping when I had large and heavy items. I sold by telling them that I would split the cost in half, cost of the second box. It worked. Yeah, and a lot of your shipping is how you sell it. How do you phrase it? Mine is like one and done. You pay shipping, then it should be free. So while I was learning to transition to 921, yeah. And as a seller, that reduced shipping doesn't have to be less than 921. You make it what you want. Keep in mind, how is that going to affect your buyer? Ultimately, you're making a decision on how you're going to sell it. On our selling count, we do 9 because we sell around 250 per show. And that's fine. I'm not going to say that there's any right or wrong way to do it. You've got to do what works for your business. Look at the financials. Look at who your buyer base is. Look at what you're selling. The other part of doing reduced shipping is and I see we have pre-bids. We'll get to those in 1 second here. The other thing when you're doing any type of a reduced or free shipping is making sure that you have the right product mix. You can't just go to your storeroom and say, oh, let's just throw all these in the show. No, what you're selling, you need to think through what you're selling. That should be very strategic part of your reduced shipping plan. It's not just, I'm going to sell anything and everything. This is why it becomes more difficult for sometimes people in a state storage unit, because you may not know what you're going to come across. But if you're doing niche, you're doing clothing, you're doing vintage, things like that, jewelry, you kind of know the size and weight. If you've noticed, and I've made this example many times before, I do $450 shipping on all my shows, but on my Monday, Wednesday morning shows, I don't sell a lot of items. I put about 10 items in my auction tab and maybe have about 20 in the bin. So I don't sell a lot. Thank you, my love. So I make sure what I sell on Monday, Wednesdays is lightweight. On Saturdays, when I'm doing a bigger show, thus there's larger profit, I do a mix and I can do heavier things. You've got to think through it on the front end. All right, let's go over and do these pre-bids while we think about any more questions, and we can keep talking stuff, or I've got more things to talk about here. All right, let's switch over and do these pre-bids. Thank you so much for putting them in too. I appreciate you guys. This picture is so beautiful. I'm calling it a picture, but it may be a large creamer. You decide. It could be either or, because it is bigger than normal creamer size, smaller than normal pitcher size. Let's get back in my chair. All right, so we have this beauty here. Look at her. Milk jug, possibly a milk jug. It is 6 inches tall. I mean, it's, bigger than my hand, but it is so pretty. I love the flowers on there. Our lights are a little bright, washing it out just a bit. There are no chips or cracks. She is nice and clean on the inside. I did wash her. That's just a little speck of something down there. I did wash her. I can't get my hand all the way in there. You need a brush. And let's go ahead and run it. That's up and going right now. Thank you for your bids. The Bird Theory, thank you so much. All right, next up, this is so adorable. If you are if you are a pottery person, this little vase is so stinking cute. It may be a little thick to fit on a printer's tray, but how neat to add into a pottery collection. I'm pretty sure it was handmade. And we're gonna go ahead and run it. It is 3 1/4 inches tall, and that is running right now. Aaron previously mentioned, congratulations. This is so adorable. I'm definitely a pottery person, and that is a cutie.
Thank you.
All right, this one, I think this would be considered a nappy dish, but I would use it as a trinket dish of some sort. So it has that little handle that's reminiscent of like your nappy dishes, but it's such a pretty shape, very vintagey looking. Nothing on the back there. Looked like maybe there was some type of maker's mark at one point. No chips or cracks that I am aware of. And it has just that prettiest minty green color going all around the outside there. And that's running right now 6 inches long. We are on a 6-inch kick today. Everything's 6 inches. Thank you for your bids. Taco Cat Lady, that's heading to you. What do we have next? Oh, we have
Thank
this.
you.
What is it? Villeroy and Bach? Is that how we say this? Nappies are diapers. Yes, but there is also the nappy dish. Somebody looked this up for me at one point, and they were like little appetizer dishes where people would carry them around. Okay, this is Villeroy and Bach. It's upside down. Let me show you. It's a trinket dish. So you've got that really cute country scene. This reminds me of our Pennsylvania countryside here. It is so pretty. Let me show you the back. It's that Villeroy and Bach. It's upside down. That's the name of it. And so you saw the top. Really great shape. No chips or cracks. And we're going to run that right now. And it's going. The scene really reminds me of the Pennsylvania countryside. We see all kinds of horses and deer and pigs and you name it. We have 2 alpaca farms close to our house that you just drive by and they're there walking around in the field. Reverie and Rule with the first purchase.
Thank you for your first purchase.
And our last one. This is pretty big. Let's just do it like this. Oh, we're going to do it this way. My husband says, use the other camera. He's giving me the sign. All right. Thank you, the Bird Theory. I always forget ducks in the chat. West Coast Cookbook. I couldn't find a date. Maybe this is the date, but I can't read Roman numerals. But we have something here. It does appear vintage to me. I mean, this has been around for a while. You can just tell by when you're looking at it. But I don't have an exact date. It's in really great shape. No cover for it, no like the paper cover. It's exactly as you see. And it's running right now. But the spine, all of that stuff is good. It's all attached. Perfect red color if you're doing a book stack for the 4th of July. And Wheels and More. Thank you, thank you. All right.
Thank you.
If you're new here to Zoe's Treasures, at the end of the show, we always do a couple pieces of sterling. So we were in the jewelry business for a while, not like business outside of here, like jewelry category. And we're slowly getting out. So the way we're liquidating our jewelry is we run a couple of pieces of sterling for $1 at the end of every Monday, Wednesday show. So. All right. A nappy dish. So Aaron's, it's like, I think we talked about it. They used to use them for like to hold appetizers as some type of like a little serving dish. And I forget, somebody told me where the name nappy comes from, but for the life of me, I cannot remember. It made sense when we were doing a show one day and we had a couple of them and one of the people went and Googled it during the show and came back and told us. So it was a good educational moment for everybody. So. But yeah, I could see that if you go to like England and you say a nappy dish and they're like, oh, you're putting diapers on the dish. That's kind of gross. So good morning, the Rustic Badger. All right, what other things can we talk about? How about if I show you a new item I have? So normally I don't sell PDFs and my books and all of that stuff in this show. I usually do that on Friday morning shows or like when I'm doing tax talks. However, I have been working on a financial workbook, a show tracker that I think is pretty awesome. And we're going to go ahead and just kind of give you a preview. It is Excel, so if you're an Excel user, we got you covered. Cannot speak for Google Sheets. I do not use Google Sheets. So anyways, I've created this Excel book and we're going to open it up and kind of just walk through a few tabs so you can see what it is. It is in both of the listings I have. You can buy the library or buy it individually for $5. But you put your shows in. It'll track your shows. All of the important metrics that I'm always talking about, it tracks for you on your shows. It will track your inventory individually or in bulk. It tracks your expenses and various revenue and pulls it all together in a year-to-date profit and loss statement for you. And all you basically have to do is to type in the blue cells and I'll show you. Can we talk about the buy it now, notify when I'm live? Do people sell these? How does it work? Yep, let me write this down. Those are the back call listings. So let me show you this and we'll talk about back call listings. All right, can you bring that up for me? Now, because of the changes on Whatnot, I have no idea if I'm going to see this on the screen or not. We are using the new share screen feature that Whatnot came out with. If I can't see it, I'm going to have to get up and walk around to my husband's computer, so you will not see me, but I'll keep talking. You'll hear me. Thank you so much for coming in through a shared link, and thank you for sharing. Are you sharing it or? All right, I can't, so you're not going to see me, but you'll hear me, so I can walk you through this. All right, so if you're interested, if you're one of those sellers that likes to track things, we have this workbook here, and the first tab is just all the instructions, and it tells you how to use it. And then if we go to the next tab is your setup. So here you're going to enter, and I have some like test information. This is just information to show you how it works. You're going to enter up to 5 revenue streams. How are you tracking your revenue? And then you can list up to, I forget how many I put there. I think I have 10 different platforms if you want to track money from different platforms. That's just your setup. So you're just putting in what platforms and what your revenue is. The next tab, this is your show tab. So this is where you're going to list your shows. This is what drives everything else throughout the rest of the workbook. So you're going to list every single show. You can see if it's a raid train, show title, show theme. If it's a raid train, you can put some of that information in there. And if you'll notice, all of these worksheets have filters along the top, all of those columns. So not only do I have built-in analytics, you can filter by anything in those columns, so you can start doing your own type of analytic and data research on everything that you're doing. So if I wanted to look at show themes and I wanted to look at just all of my vintage shows, I can do that. The next tab, this is your show tracker. This is a really important one. It's automatically going to bring in those shows for you, so you don't have to do that. You only type in blue boxes. So here you're going to put in all that information that you can get either from your Whatnot email or your analytics screen. And scroll back over to the column with the green. Let me show them here. And it's going to start calculating out all those really cool analytics for you, like your net gross profit, your profit before operating expenses, what's your cost of goods. I want to explain those green real quick. It's automatically going to highlight green your top 10 gross profit shows. So as you type your data in, those highlights are going to show up automatically and show you your top 10, which gives you some insight on what you should be doing more of, right? And if you keep, what did we do? Okay, keep going over. We're going to see number of shipments, new buyers, number of shipments, new buyers. It's going to give you a returning, how much, got to automatically calculate returning buyers. You're going to put in the number of items you sold, all of this different stuff, and it's going to start giving you your new buyer rates, your return buyer rates, your average order values, your sell-through rates, number of items sold per hour, shipping percent. So it's going to automatically calculate a ton of information for you. The next tab is where you can put other revenue. Here you can track your Etsy, Poshmark, whatever else. And then we have an expenses tab. You can track all of your expenses. Some presets, some user defined. Go down to inventory. The next one allows you to track your inventory. And finally, we get to the very last tab that's going to give you a profit or loss. And this is going to give you an overall. Rawson, you got that giveaway. Congratulations. That last tab gives you a profit or loss year to date.
Congratulations.
So that's in there. It's new. I've been working on it. We can go ahead and close it. Thank you. I just wanted to show you guys because I think it's really cool. If you geek out about analytics like I do it all, this is a really easy way. If you're like, yeah, I want to know it, but I don't know how to do all the formulas. I don't want to set it all up. We got you covered. So that's that. Let's go back to talking. Any other questions? That is the financial workbook. So it is titled Financial Workbook. If you have already bought the PDF library, that's going to be uploaded today. You have access to it already. My husband says it's already there. If you've already bought the library, you already have access to it. So for the PDF library, that is access to everything that's currently there and anything I may add in the future. Or you can buy it individually. I added it there, $5 individual Excel or PDFs. Thank you so much for your purchase. If you guys are purchasing, just make sure you're messaging us your email so we can get it to you right away. My husband does all of that and he's pretty on top of getting those out quickly. All right, let's keep talking about, we had a question, the bin back calls. Who here does a back call? If you're a seller, who has a back call? I forgot to load mine this morning, but the back call is when it says bookmark this show so you can be notified. Yep. That is like the thing. And it works. It absolutely works. The minute I hit that back call, I instantly will see an increase in the people that come into the room. This happened because a while back, I don't know, maybe 6-8 months ago, it's been a while. When you bookmark a show, Whatnot's supposed to send you a notification if you have your notifications turned on. All of a sudden, it seemed, and I don't know the mechanics behind it, but not everybody was being notified of the shows that they bookmark. So to replace that, to kind of make up for that, some creative seller somewhere and Whatnot created the back call listing, and it's spread like wildfire. Just not sure why didn't do it before. Exactly, yeah, Monster Mama. Can you show us how to do the back call? I don't think I listed mine. So I will show you just on a regular listing. So anyways, what happens is when you pin it, let's pretend, we're just going to pretend this is a back call. I'm pinning this. Pretend this says bookmark me to be notified when I go live. If you accidentally buy this, I'm going to send you a sticker or a postcard or whatever easy to mail PWE item that you want to put in there. And so you pin it at the beginning of your show, you pin your back call. And usually, again, the title is something like bookmark me to be notified when the show goes live. What this does is if the people like it, they get notified when you pin it. So when you start your show, the first thing you should be doing is pinning this. Maybe at different times throughout your show. A Reworker's Passion is really, really good about this. She pins it at the beginning, and then usually later, about 30, 45 minutes into her show, she'll pin it again, do another back call. Hey, if you missed it, guess what? I'm live, and maybe a little bit later. So that's all you have to do. I think they're super useful. I mean, we had a bunch of people in here who said they do it. I don't think everybody would be doing it if it wasn't useful. The rules, though, Whatnot has some specific rules about it. You could put bookmark me to be notified, but you also, in the description, have to be selling something with it. Make it a PWE, sticker, postcard. You have to be selling something with it. And the price has to be a realistic price for what you are selling. So if you're selling a sticker, the price is what? $2 to $5 to me is realistic. Unless it's some super special sticker. Don't be selling me no, sticker from your Amazon pack for $10. But if it's a super special sticker, maybe $10. I still feel it's high. To each his own. Or if you're doing a vintage postcard, maybe $5. So the price has to be reasonable and you have to be selling something. People do not have to buy it. But if they accidentally swipe, then you do have to fulfill that order. That's why it's a reasonable price in case they accidentally swipe. I think what was happening, a lot of us were putting $99999, like some crazy high price, and people were accidentally swiping, and it caused a lot of issues. Not that that would even clear my bank account if I swiped on that, but it is what it is. So is it a quality? Yeah, I have mine as a quality listing. I use the picture of my show. So I have a different one for each show. Some people just do one back call and they put it on all their shows. I do themed shows, so I have different ones for each type of theme. And I'll use that thumbnail that I use for the show as the picture for that listing. Yep, you do just like a regular listing. And then you just pin it. So like, here's a regular listing. If this was my back call, I would just pin it. Whoever had this bookmarked or liked, they would be notified, hey, Zoe's Treasures has your item bookmarked. So, and then you can unpin it. I don't like the words on the screen. If you're selling, you pin it when you start. And as soon as you start selling stuff, it's going to go away. During chat shows, I always unpin it after a little bit just because I don't like it cluttering up the screen. That's just my personal pet peeve. Has nothing to do with what people should or shouldn't do. So, good morning, Hen House. They work really good. So now, are they going to be there forever? Probably not. Eventually, there's going to be something else, because think of what we're doing. While we have to have a listing that sells something, is there really a lot of sales being generated from that? I would imagine Whatnot's going to come up with another type of feature, or it's going to be replaced with something eventually someday. But for now, it works. Good morning, Gigi's Vintage.
PBR Antiques, are you still around? Can you check your DM, please?
You know, one thing we don't talk enough about on here, and I was reminded, who reminded me? I think it was one of my CEO participants, or maybe it was another chat show. Something I've heard this week that we don't talk enough about. And I know I don't. It was eye-opening to me to hear this statement that we don't talk enough about the people, the sellers on Whatnot, who are doing this part-time and want to stay part-time. That they do it maybe as a side business, or maybe they're retired and they do it to stay busy. But it's not, they don't have aspirations of taking over the world with their Whatnot account. They do it, they're small and they want to stay small. They don't want to grow. They don't want to leave a 9-to-5 to do this. It's, hey, I'm selling, 50, 100 items a week, and I'm okay with that size, and I don't want to go any bigger than that. And I think that was a really good point. For me, I'm very business focused. I'm very like, how do you grow? How do you do this better? How do you become efficient? How do all these systems tie into each other and work together? So to hear somebody say that was eye-opening in the sense, for me as somebody who does a lot of chat shows, I want to make sure that I'm incorporating that audience within what I'm talking about. Are you going to Austin? We're going to be there too. Come and find us. I don't know what you look like, but you know what I look like, so you got to come find us. Yes, we'll talk about the Seller Summit. So I'm curious, is any seller here who is that's where you're at? You're like, hey, I'm part-time. I don't want to take over the world. I want to stay where I'm at. I'm very happy with the way I'm doing a smaller Whatnot business. And there's nothing wrong with it. That's totally okay. That describes you because you babysit 2 grandkids. And so you have this busy life and you're like, I want to do this. I enjoy it, but I don't want to make this a, 100-hour-a-week commitment. I know that I am not as inclusive to the smaller business owners. Rust Bucket Finds.
Welcome in, Raiders! Grab your hats and step into Zoe's Treasures, where the relics aren't cursed. They are for sale.
Welcome in, Rust Bucket Finds, and everybody that came along. My name's Tracy. This is Zoe's Treasures. We're doing a chat and sell show, so we're kind of chatting about everything and anything right now. Rust Bucket Finds. Please feel free to throw in the chat who you are, what you do, what you sell. Give me all the details, because while I may know some of it, I don't think everybody else does. And that way people can follow you if they like what you have to say. We are doing, and if you just came in, $4.50 shipping. All of our auction items always start at $1. Feel free to pre-bid, and I run pre-bids during these shows. Well, thank you so much. Reclaim Vintage, I appreciate that. I want to be as big as I can be. What I wanted to talk about this is, how do you stay small? Because all of the things we talk about, how to create systems, how to create efficiencies, how to, have the best lighting, the best sound, how should our backdrops look? How do we show items? How do we present with confidence? All of these things will eventually increase your shows. I cannot tell people how to be successful, how to have $1 million Whatnot business. That's not my goal. But I can tell you, Rust Bucket Finds sells vintage decor and home decor. I can tell you some sound business practices that I've seen over my 30 plus years in business. I can tell you stuff from audio video production that my husband has seen over many, many years in business. So I can bring to you all these little pieces. I can give you advice on these pieces, and I can guarantee that if you put the pieces together, your business will improve. I'm not making any promises on where it's going to go, but it will improve, because there's so much of what you're doing that depends on you, that I can give you all the tools in the world. I can tell you all the tips and tricks, but it's how you apply them that's really going to make the difference at the end of the day. So as a smaller seller, or as a seller who is like, I don't want to grow, I want to stay in the size that I am because this is my happy spot. If you're doing all of these things, your business probably will grow. So understanding that, the next question becomes, okay, if this is my happy spot, what do I do to stay here? What do I do to stay? Because if you start implementing all these little tools and pull it together in the ways that work for you, you're going to start to see more people in your room, more sales, more shipments. And then you're like, oh, wait, this is getting bigger than I want it to be. So we start then looking at ways to limit, which sounds very weird in the Whatnot world. Now I'm going from growth to, I don't want to grow. I want to cap. I want to keep where I am at. So we start looking at things like we limit the number of shows we do. Instead of go on whenever you can, let's do it once a week. Let's do it every other week. Let's do maybe, a chat and sell where I'm talking more than I'm selling. So you start thinking of different ways where you're limiting the exposure, you're limiting the access to the goods that you have. I think I'm staying small because I'm unable to be consistent, as in same day shows, multiple shows. And that could be. That in itself will keep you small. Just doing pop-ups. So you just described another answer to that whole question. The way you said it was kind of like, I think I'm this because, but you could also be that way on purpose, doing pop-ups. I did Crafty Fairies. We did get out of jewelry. You want to know the truth? I suck at selling jewelry and I did not enjoy it. I got frustrated with it. I'm fumbling and I can't. It is not for me. You know what? People say you could sell anything. I don't subscribe to the sell what you love, but I do subscribe to sell what you can at least be excited about selling. Like there has to be some enjoyment in it. And even the thought of making money from the jewelry wasn't enough for me to stay in it. So there was 2 reasons. That was one of them because my husband did a show and he's great at selling jewelry. I'm not. The other side of that is we decided to go into jewelry, and I know I'm on a rabbit trail. I'll get back to the original topic. We decided to go into jewelry starting January 1st. We had been planning on it for about 6 months. We had vendors in Mexico. We had some vendors in the United States. We had stocked up on inventory. We bought supplies. Like we were all in for jewelry. We were going to make a business of this. I had a very strategic plan. We did it for the whole first quarter. We did it for 3 months on a regular basis. I missed a show here or there just because of scheduling. And I never expected to make money right out the gate. I think that's an unrealistic expectation. But I didn't even see an incline. It was down. It was a downward spiral. I saw no indicators. When I looked at all my data, there were 0 indicators that I was trending to make a profit. I would have been all about it. My husband could have taken over if I could say, you know what? I'm not making money right now, but I think I can in 9 months or a year. I didn't see any of that. So combine the fact that I saw no indicators of an upward trend and I didn't enjoy it. That was a no-go at that point. After 1 quarter, that was a strategic business decision to say, nope, this isn't part of our strategy. This isn't a good strategy for us. Aaron says, he doesn't love all the things he sells, but I do love when I find great things for people to fall in love with. It's like treasure. So there's a sense of enjoyment somewhere in there for you. And that's what I think you have to have. At least for me. I can't, if it bores me to death, I tried to sell ephemera. I was making money on ephemera. Ephemera was going to be profitable. I was bored out of my freaking mind and I got to the point where I was dreading doing ephemera shows. I'm not doing them anymore. I don't want to dread what I do every day. That's not why I'm here. Yes, Crafty Berries. Of course I analyze the numbers. So, I just was not seeing any indicators. Now, that's not to say that we couldn't try it a year from now and it'd be a completely different outcome. It just didn't work then. You have to find the balance of where you're at in it. Most of you know we do a podcast with Green 13 and I Love Discounts on Sunday evenings at 6:30. It's on YouTube. Reselling Roundtable. There's my quick plug. But Green 13 says, I'll sell anything. I get enjoyment from the profit that it produces. And that's great. If you have that mentality, if that works for you, but we're all different, right? So you've got to figure out how it works for you and your product mix of what you're selling. There's other things that I think I would enjoy selling. I think I would love selling baby clothes, like toddler kids clothes. They're adorable. I love them. I can get super excited about them. But then I think, do I have access to that inventory? Do I have place to store it? Do I really want to do measurements? I could get excited about it, but there's all these other things. Nope, okay, that's out for me. It's all strategic. You think through it. It just doesn't mean, I'm excited about it, now I'm going to sell it, right? There's parts of vintage decor that I don't really get super excited about. I'll still sell it because it's part of vintage decor and I can be like, okay, well, I get excited about this, but maybe just not these pieces. So, thank you. I love discounts. All right, let's talk about the Seller Summit, you guys. Who here is going to the Seller Summit? We leave Friday morning. I Love Discounts, you are. So Melinda's, Wheels and More, I Love Discounts, Zoe's Treasures. Anybody else going to the Seller Summit? It is in Austin, Texas. It is this Saturday. A little bit of things on Friday night. I wish you were going to be there too, Southern Charm. Southern Charm, I need to talk to you. May 12th, I'm going to be in your area. I need to know if May 12th works for you as a day to get together and do some sourcing and hang out and have lunch and do all the cool stuff. My husband's staring at me. He's like, I told you to text her 10 times. You're flying down. So we're flying down Friday. I Love Discounts is already on the road. They're driving. You're in Texas. See, and you're so close. We are actually, y'all, do you know how many times a day I fire my husband? I almost fired him over this one. When we're making our flights, we're flying from Pennsylvania. We're looking at flights into Austin, Texas. We compare those to flights to Dallas. My husband used to live in Texas. I'm like, how far of a drive is that? Oh, it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's not bad. Okay, let's fly into Dallas. So then yesterday, because we leave, keep in mind, we leave at 7 a.m. Sunday morning. Okay, our flight departs at 7 a.m. So that means we need to be at the airport by like 5, right? So the other day I'm like, hey, how many hours drive is that again? Can you show me? 3.5 freaking hours. I'm like, I'm not letting you book our tickets again. 3.5 hours. So for my 7 a.m. flight on Sunday morning to leave, I get to leave Austin at 1 o'clock in the morning to drive to Dallas. I'm going to be in control of travel from now on. I still love you, my love. He's not looking at me. He's like,
What she's failing to say is that we're flying out of a different airport that is going to save us at least an hour in traffic.
it will. It'll save us an hour driving to the airport and back on our end in Pennsylvania. I'm going to sleep. I just told him, I'm like, that's fine. But don't expect me to drive at 1 in the morning. I will be in the passenger seat, sound asleep at 1 in the morning.
No, Southern Charm, I quit. I quit. I'm done.
So
no more projects.
I am sure if you've been hanging around Whatnot in any chat shows, you've been hearing about the Seller Summit. It has been like the talk because it's this weekend. This is the first Whatnot sponsored Seller Summit. They're bringing in some of the Whatnot community hosts. The Whatnot people will be there. There's going to be like Friday night is like a meet and greet. I think it's kind of like I don't know, maybe like a bar or a restaurant or whatever, like a meet and greet in the hotel somewhere. And then, better than a 15-hour drive. Then Saturday is a full day of like when you go to a conference, they're going to have different breakout groups and people talking. Reworkers Passion is going to be one of the speakers there. House of Coop, Jen's Multiverse, maybe, I don't remember. For some reason, her name's sticking out in my head. Philly Flipper, and a bunch of others that I'm just can't think of off the top of my head are going to be giving speeches or talking, doing roundtable type discussions or panel discussions, talking about different aspects of selling on Whatnot. Then in addition, there's the whole networking. There's the meeting the people, the networking. So when this first came out, we weren't going to go. My first instinct was like, yeah, that's okay, not important. However, as you guys know, I'm big on accounting, tax, and financial, business tax, accounting, education for resellers. So I reached out to Whatnot and I'm like, hey, I would love to be a speaker and do an accounting or a tax focused session for all the resellers, because this is really reseller focused session there. It was a little late. It was already planned. I had some great emails back and forth with a staff person at Whatnot. So then I changed my mind. I said, we are going to go because I want to meet the Whatnot people in person. I want to be able to go to these events and offer educational sessions. I do this at my 9 to 5. I don't talk about what I took reselling on my 9 to 5, but my 9 to 5, part of my job is planning conferences and facilitating. So I do travel around the country almost every month. I'm gone somewhere. A lot of you have seen me, doing my shows from hotels in different parts of the country. So this is something that I already do, and it's a skill set that I would love to bring to the actual live events at Whatnot. So we are going to make those contacts. The bonus on top of that is we get to meet a lot of people that we watch in shows and get to make those connections also. So that's our point of view on it. Are they necessary to go to? No. But then we can, it comes to the next kind of phase of that are all the meetups. Who here has been to a Whatnot meetup? Not maybe a seller sponsor one. Hello, Choco Dog. Maybe not a Whatnot sponsor one, but who's here been to any of the meetups that happen all across the country? It seems like every single month there's some type of meetup.
I'm just going for the barbecue.
Melinda's, yep. Wheels and More. No, they emailed all the sellers. It came out, wow, how many months ago? Maybe 5 months ago? It was like January, February that the email came out about the summit. Southern Charm went to the Atlanta. Penelope went to some. See, a lot of people have been. You have to be invited. So the Seller Summit was open to all sellers. It is tickets. You had to purchase, tickets were $75 to go. So you had to buy the ticket. And of course, you got to pay your hotel, your travel, all of that. The Whatnot meetups that people do. So Forget Me Not is going to the one in June, which is in Michigan, is JJ Shoppers. They just had one, Fundamentals, just did a meetup in Las Vegas last weekend. So those ones, the meetups, the Whatnot meetups that aren't Whatnot sponsored, they're like JJ Shopper or Fundamentals is like, hey, I want to get a group of people together and hang out. They're Whatnot sponsored. Some of those are invites. Some of those are like, hey, we have a sign up list and we can accommodate so many people. Depends on like where they're having it, right?
Correction. Fundamentals meetup in Vegas was not Whatnot sponsored.
That's what I said. It was not Whatnot sponsored. The ones that aren't Whatnot sponsored, they're sellers who are like, hey, let's a bunch of us get to, Engalon did a big one too. That was in Tampa? I may be wrong. It's Southern Florida somewhere.
That was in Miami.
Miami. There we go. Okay, so does anybody know of a Texas meetup? If you do, please, there you go. Thank you so much.
Moonlit Vintage, there's a web page for Whatnot where they advertise all the meetups. Let me see if I can find it.
Is that just the Whatnot meetups or is that everybody's meetups?
That's all meetups.
Okay, all the meetups. So if you get a chance to speak with Whatnot people, tell them we want more regional Whatnot meetups. Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping that's kind of my goal is like, I really want to talk to the Whatnot people. Thank you so much, Choco Dog. That's very sweet of you. So if you get a chance to go to a meetup, I highly recommend it. Don't break the bank. Don't put yourself in jeopardy financially to go to a meetup. They are not that important. However, if it's totally feasible for you to go, you have the time off of work, you have the money, it's close to your house, whatever it is, I suggest you go. Even if you're an introvert like me, it can be very intimidating, very scary to be like, let's walk in a room of a bunch of people I don't know. So what I suggest to make it easier, to make it a little more doable, particularly if you're shy, is see who else is going, whoever's hosting it. So like JJ Shoppers, I think hers may be full. Don't quote me. Go to her show. She has talk shows every week. Go to her shows and ask her directly for her information on her meetup. But you thought it was life-changing. That's amazing. Go into whoever's hosting it and they'll ask like this and be like, hey, who's all coming? And you'll start to see people who are coming. Go check out their shows. See what they look like. Get familiar with them. So then at least when you walk in the room, you'll see a face and you'll be able to like, oh, that's Zoe's Treasures. Let me go say hello. It makes it easier than not knowing who's who. So do a little bit of front-end homework, particularly if you're shy. It does help you get over that bridge just a little bit. Because look, that's me. I am like super introvert. And when it comes to conferences, even though I do these all the time, I'm not a put myself out there, let's go introduce myself person. I'm just not. Good morning, ladybugs.
Here it is.
Here's the list where you can go. Whatnot meetups. So meetups.whatnot.com. And it tells you what they are, who can attend. Does it give you a list of them? It tells you everything about hosting it. There you go. Meetups calendar.
And you can see right there, Hodgepodge Place. That's a Whatnot sponsored one. And then Nikki is so blessed. That's one in Texas, Moonlight.
Where she's sponsored,
Moonlit.
like she's doing it.
Yeah, she's doing it, and that's not Whatnot sponsored. And then Jing Jings, that's a Whatnot sponsored one. Mm-hmm. And that's in North Carolina.
And then some of them, like JJ Shoppers is coming up. Hers isn't on here. So some of them is just going to the chat shows and listening. if you're not already looking at the community tab, highly, highly, highly recommend the community tab. Because people will put, like, particularly, I know I keep talking about hers, but she's a really good example and it's coming up soon. She'll actually have talks. It'll say JJ Shopper meetup discussion or chat or whatever. CG Boomerang just did one. Did she just finish hers in Indiana? And she would do talks and label it like that. So that's another way. Thank you so much, Melinda. CG has a website with meetups too. CG's website is boomerangecho.com. So that's a great website for meetups, which I didn't know. Thank you for letting me know. And raid trains. Y'all, yeah, if you aren't in communities, check it out. Now, it's like anything else. Some of them you can take them, some you can leave. That's all I'm going to say about it. I hang out in the communities tab, and I shouldn't be telling you this tip. It's not really a tip, but it is. So if you're on your phone, here, I can walk you through it on my phone. I just got to open up Whatnot. Give me a second. If you're on your phone and then you click the little categories at the bottom, community should be in one of those categories. So you should be able to find community in there. If not, type it in the top and type in community in your search bar and you should be able to find it. I Love Discount went to CG's. The community tab is where a lot of people post our chat shows. Now this one I post in either estate or vintage decor because I also sell. My Friday shows are only in community because I have stuff in my bin, but I'm not actively selling. They're about education. They're about talking about business and tax and accounting. So let's see where we're at here. Okay, we're good. Checking the time. So definitely I would try to go. It makes those connections more real. People you meet. I've only done one outside of what the Seller Summit was. Where did we go? North Carolina? No. What state did we go to? I don't remember.
It was in Maryland.
Maryland. There it is. We went to the one in Maryland. And that was good. That was a Coinman X, wasn't it?
I love discounts. I cannot believe that she forgot. That's where we met you all.
You know why I forget? Because I travel every single month and I'm in a different, I could be in 4 different states within a month. I didn't remember where we happened to go for that one. So, all right. Anything else before we head out? We've been on for about an hour and a half. We're gonna head out pretty soon here. Any other topics? Did I miss any questions? Let's do one more giveaway. We'll let that run, and then we'll see if there's anything else any other questions to talk about. Notice when I look to see who is live, I click followed. It no longer shows me everyone I follow that is live. I have to. Yep, it is so frustrating. The bird theory, so frustrating. There are people that I'll go to. I follow 8 or 9 different categories on the regular. I have the ones that I like to go to, and I'll be in vintage decor, and all of a sudden somebody will cross my mind oh, I haven't seen this person for a while. And so I search their name. Sure enough, they have shows every single week, but they're not showing up on my feed anymore. Have no idea why. And it's very frustrating because it's just every now and then I happen to think of somebody wait a minute, what happened to this person? They're still alive. They're thriving on Whatnot. Whatnot just doesn't want me to know that they're thriving.
Wheels and more. I am invisible.
Mm-hmm. They do. There's some of the people that I watch at the very beginning. It all goes back to how the Whatnot algorithm works and thinks that it knows what you want to see. I don't know all the makings of it. So I don't know how to get around that. If anybody knows how to get around that to keep your favorites, unless frequently visiting their shows helps you see them. That is why, if we go all the way back, let's circle back to the back call listings, why those are so important right now is because we're not always seeing our favorite sellers. Do you have a video that we can watch to see the backside of the shipping process and how Whatnot app works in the backside? I do not, Strickland, but we are creating some. So I Love Discounts and myself we keep talking about it. We're going to have some on our YouTube channel, hopefully soon. I Love Discounts just went and had to go back to work and just totally threw off my whole plan and schedule. And we're working on it. In the meantime, I would suggest D-Archivist and Living Bliss Vintage for shows to watch. And then for videos, the Hodgepodge Place and House of Coop actually have videos on YouTube that you can watch. So speaking of algorithm, how can we boost that during a show? Besides hearts and shares, anything else we can do? Talk in the chat. Activity. Whatnot likes activity. This is one thing 100% that I can say for sure. If you go to, if you go look at help.whatnot.com and you look under discoverability is how they how the algorithm works. It mentions activity over and over. That type of activity is talking in the chat, keeping the chat active, selling things on the screen. So having things running on your screen, people bidding, those are probably the two biggest types of activity that you can have. So those things absolutely help the algorithm without a doubt, because Whatnot tells you they help the algorithm. Anything else, sharing? Yeah, anything else I can't attest to. I just know that those things are specifically called out by Whatnot as helping discoverability. That remain radio silent without chatting. It is difficult. So Reclaim Vintage, have you tried having some chat prompts? One of our sellers, who was that last night? Was it on Second Thought? I'm trying to think who had, for the life of me. One of our, yes, Shalom, yes, absolutely, 100%. So one of our sellers last night in the CEO Challenge, I want to say it was on Second Thought, had actually a sheet of chat prompts that they put up of questions to ask while they're live, because we're thinking a million things. Sometimes our minds can go like blank. So have you tried doing that? True Social Worker, it is Financial Workbook. The Financial Workbook is the one. So I'm selling it individually for $5, or there's another listing. You can get the whole library. You get access to everything. What are you, let's hear from other sellers in the room. When you feel that the chat is quiet, what are your ways? You have a cheat sheet of adjectives. Yeah, do a chat prompt one. So anybody else that's selling, what are your tips to help keep engagement in the chat, to help keep people talking? I would love to hear it. We all know ask a question. Thank you for your purchase. We all know ask a question. I mean, mainly it's asking questions, but can anybody tell me what this is? Maybe you know what it is, but ask, hey, I have never seen this brand. Has anybody ever heard of this brand? Or I don't know how to use this. How do you use this? Even if you know, drop your emojis. That's a great one. I have to say, ask people where they're from, what they're doing this weekend. Trivia questions, tell jokes. I love the trivia questions. It gets people engaged. We've done a few shows where we play games. People, that's always been a big kind of activity driver. What's for dinner? Take a minute. Think outside the box, though. Drop their state. I was just about to say, and I'm not getting on people who do this, but I almost never am going to ask people to drop their state. Why? Because everybody else does. And that's just me. I want to be different. I want to be unique. What can you talk about? What makes it unique? And some of this is just keep doing it. What's your state bird? There you go. Something completely different. I love that. And I'm loving that all of you guys are putting in different ways to do this. But what is it about you that makes you unique? I like to ask, hey, what are your thoughts on this? I love controversial topics. You come to my chat shows, I'm going to be talking about some controversial stuff, and I want to know your opinions too, right? What do they collect? Yeah. So there's all different ways to encourage chat. You can do auctions where you're like, all right, rate my auction item. Okay, everybody, 1 to 10. What do you think? Gets everybody putting on a scale of 1 to 10. What do they think of this item? Oh, it's a 10, so I know this is going to go high, right? All right, let's run it. You're already creating excitement about your item, but you're not just creating excitement about what you're selling. You're getting that chat moving at the same time. Now, if it goes a 1, if everybody says 1, you're like, what? This is the best thing ever. What? Y'all, I can't believe you gave this a 1. Make a joke out of it. Make it fun. And people will say, they'll say stuff. They'll be like, yeah, but look, that brown looks like poop. You're drinking out of a poop cup. Why do you want to drink? So people will chat with you. You just got to figure out really the unique ways. $10 for a good cup of coffee right now. Exactly. So use ChatGPT. I don't believe in using ChatGPT for everything, but there's some good, heck, I use it all the time to help me write things more eloquently because I'm a very blunt person, if you haven't noticed. And sometimes the way I write things, without seeing my body motions and me smiling when I'm saying it, people could be offended. So I use it to help me write things so I don't offend people. I use it for ideas all the time. All the time. I mean, even if ChatGPT gives me sucky ideas on half of them, there may be one or two things that I'm like, oh, then it sparks something else. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what I'm going to try to do. Yeah, give them the opportunity to help or brag. Absolutely. Noel GPT, that's what I need. Yeah, just ask my husband. And I'm not a natural born talker. Surprise, surprise, I don't do this naturally. I'm not, even though I can sit here and I'm rambling on forever, I'm not a natural born talker. I actually started my Monday, Wednesday shows. These came from the desire for me to learn to talk without a script. My Friday shows, yes, you are. I don't think so. I love discounts. I think I'm learning to be, but I haven't always been. And I think we can learn to do a lot of stuff. My Friday shows are very, I don't want to say scripted, but I do have bullet points that I go by. I do research, I think them through, I write out notes to discuss very specific topics and bullet points on my Friday shows. Thank you so much, Aaron. My Monday and Wednesday shows, if you put me in front of a screen and say talk, my mind goes blank and you will think I am the dumbest person in the room. I can't form a complete sentence.
Hey, DJ.
Hello, DJ. So I just write a bunch of like scribbles, like, this says phone placement. So if the chat goes really quiet, I can say, hey, let's talk about it. Where do we put our phone? And we start a conversation. So if you need to do that, just during the week, take a piece of paper and just jot down bullet points of just, I have talk about tomorrow. So I'm going to talk to you about tomorrow. I have CEO challenge written down. I have a bunch of different types of systems. So I have pre-show, show flow. So that at any moment, if you feel that it's dying down, you can just look at a bullet point and, oh, hey, y'all, let's talk about this. What are your thoughts about this? Have you seen anybody do this? Have you done this? Okay. Thank you very much, mamas. It's practice, and I'm not great at it. I'm still learning all the time, and I say too much, and there's a lot that I want to fix. But there was a time that I couldn't even say my name in a room without wanting to crawl under the table. Those of you that are like, I'm shy, I'm scared, I'm nervous in front of the camera, practice, 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 practice. I hate to say it, but that's the only thing that's going to make you get over that. I like that. Coastal Peacock, what's the best deal you got this week? I like that one. And off track all the time. No, it's okay. Do you use ChatGPT to rewrite, Hog? Yeah, I do it all the time because the way I write is very much like I talk, and with no body language to go with it, it comes across very offensive. And I know this, not offensive, but comes across very blunt, which is amazing. I work in my 9-to-5 job. I'm remote. A lot of what I do is written communication with people, and we work with India a lot. Cultural differences are huge. In India, when we write our counterparts in India, we don't just say, hey, I'm looking for results on this project that you did last week. Tell me where you're at. Give me an update. You don't write that. You put, hello, how was your weekend? How are you doing today? I did such and such. Did you, how is your kid? Whatever. You open first, because if you don't, it's considered very rude, at least in our company, the communications that we do. I'm not a cultural expert. But these are the things you learn, and I use ChatGPT to help me with that constantly. You guys, my husband's reminded me, you're rude. I love discounts. Thank you. I will mention that. I don't think you're rude. I'm just very blunt to the point, but it comes across very offensive sometimes. Real quick, I do want to mention Shalom, y'all, right there. Shalom, say something. There she is, right there. Shalom, y'all, is having a new seller surge. What is it? Surge to 1K. New seller surge to 1K. Surge to 1K. Put the title in the chat for me, please. Shalom, go ahead. Throw your advertisement in there. It is a new seller raid train. It is on May 19th. Let's see if I got it right. I highly recommend people to check it out. I have been on Shalom Y'all's and Grammy G 55502's raid trains. They do a really good one, and it's a good way to support new sellers. So I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that. There you go. See? And if you are a new seller, if you are less than 1K, I used to do new seller raid trains. Now Shalom has got it. I don't need to do them. So if you are a new seller less than 1K, reach out to Shalom, y'all, or Grammy G55502. Talk to them. They're putting these raid trains on every month. And I know from conducting these, the list, sometimes there's a wait list. Sometimes you're like, all right, I need people. I need people. So absolutely. And look at, people are saying it was a good train. There you go. And you had a great show. Awesome. All right. Did that last giveaway go? It did go. We're going to go raid. We've been on for a while now. Before I close, tomorrow, so Friday is my normal Friday show. I'm traveling to Austin on Friday. So my show, my Friday show, my business and tax show is tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Tad bit later than my normal 7 o'clock, 7:30 a.m. I did change the time on my show, so you can bookmark it. I will throw out that back call. So be there tomorrow. I will not be on Friday. I don't know if I'm going to be on during the Seller Summit. Right now, I have no plans to broadcast from there. We shall see. Oh, the silver. I forgot the silver. I always run silver. Let me run a couple pieces of silver before we raid. I was so busy. I had pre-bids I couldn't get to before I had to raid out. Yeah, then that's a good raid train. Yes, let's do the silver. I have two things today. So we're going to start with this little ring here. This is adorable. We're going to switch cameras. And I hope I have my, hold on, I'm hoping I have my random listing in here. If not, you guys are going to have to bear with me while I add a random listing. All right, you're going to have to bear with me. We're adding a random temporary listing because you know what? I just really was not prepared today. Let's see here. We're going to go jewelry. Oh, let's do this one. Hold on. We're going to put this down while I type in a listing really quick. Sterling. Everything starts at $1. We're going to run 2 pieces. And I know. I should be faster. My fault.
Thank you,
I'm making
Coastal.
y'all wait.
But the Dana White is not helping.
The what? Look, today was an off show for me. We all have them. Okay, there we go. Now we can run this. So this is a ring. I should get the ring sizer so you know what size it is. Oh, all right. Can you see what size that is? I cannot see. 5.5. It is a 5.5. It has 2 little hearts on it. It is 925. And we're going to run it right now. For $1. 10 seconds. 3-second restart. It's adorable. This is why I don't sell jewelry. Because I don't show it very good. I should make my husband do this. My husband's like, quit moving. I'm like, I'm falling off my chair. Southern Charm, thank you so much. That's going to you. All right. This next one I already measured. Makes it easy for me. This is a Figaro chain. It is 22 inches long. And the millimeters, I can't read my writing. It's a very thin one. It's one of those smaller ones. You can see the really pretty links. I'll show you the back of it here. So it is just on this. 22 inches. There we go. And we're going to run that one. Going right now. I could get a ring stand, but I am getting out of the jewelry business, so we are just trying to get rid of it piece by piece, doing a little at a time. These are all brand new. It's all brand new jewelry. QVC vibes, I know. I am awful. Wheels and More, congratulations. That is heading to you. Y'all, I told you, I do not enjoy trying to do jewelry. It is just, it's more of my husband's thing. But we do have some stock left. I have about 2 trays about this size. So probably for the next couple of months, at least 2 to 3 months, we'll be doing some jewelry every Monday and Wednesday. So with that, now we're going to go raid. I appreciate you guys' purchases. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Let's go see who's on. Oh goodness, I don't recognize half these names. All right, we're gonna go meet a new person. Yellow Fox. I do not know who. Oh wait, hold on. Pint Size Marina. My husband says we're gonna go see Pint Size Marina. Let's go see her. No, she's not on. Okay. All right, then we're gonna go see Yellow Fox. Let's go make a new friend.